You are now listening to The Box Out with Kahlil Thomas and Jason Kahlil on the One Podcast Network. Let's get it.
From NJ to BK in the world, is The Box Out. It is our annual NBA Draft Extravaganza Spectacular. I'm Kahlil Thomas. Joining me in a few minutes will be Jason Kahlil from Brooklyn, New York, where the draft is taking place tonight at Barclays Center. And there's really no suspense. I think last year there was a little bit of suspense on who would go first, who would go second. This year there's no suspense for number one pick. Cooper Flagg, Duke. We'll talk about him when he actually gets selected by the Dallas Mavericks, which I still think was a complete and utter setup. I still have a conspiracy theory about that, but just gonna let that lie. Gonna let that shit. But like most drafts, and it's rare. Jason and I have been doing this show for 8 years, 8 years, and every draft for the most part is very, it lacks any type of, it's anticlimactic, let's be honest, right? Once we get past those first few picks, it becomes this, is he going to contribute? He has a lot of upside. He's a project. He's coming over from insert country here. Can he adjust to the American style? And blah, 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 blah. So we're looking at Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper tonight. That's your number one and number two, respectively, unless something crazy happens at number two. After that, it gets a little dicey. And we'll talk about Ace Bailey as the night goes on, where he goes, because he's trying to kind of dictate where he's going to end up. So we'll see where he ends up. I think he wants to go to Washington at 6, but we'll see what happens. But from after those two, Harper and Flagg, it becomes if you're a GM, what are you looking for? Are you looking for fit? Are you drafting for need? Are you drafting best available player at that moment, at that spot? Are you just like, hey, we got to pick? Who do you guys want? I'm going to ask my son, 12 years old, who do you want to draft, right? The idea of the NBA draft being a draft that is top to bottom, first round picks to number 25, going to be these knock it out the park guys, these generational talents at number 22 is not a thing. At number 22, you get someone serviceable. You're going to get someone that's going to be part of your rotation, be someone who's going to help your team out. We have seen instances of higher picks doing some good work, right? I use Draymond Green as the example. I think Draymond Green is one of those examples of real late. I think he was a second round pick. Won championships. Nikola Jokic, when he was drafted by Denver, no one knew who the hell Nikola Jokic was. So you have these kind of diamonds that kind of pop out here and there, but for the most part, the focus is on those really the lottery picks up to 14. But then we're looking at 1, 2, 3. I think in this draft you might have Flagg, you have Harper for sure. VJ Edgecombe is one of those players that I think if he gets drafted by Philly at 3, could be a really good pickup. Ace Bailey becomes this kind of this weird element to the night, because if I'm a GM and I see this guy who, played at Rutgers, had a good season. Him and Dylan Harper played together at Rutgers here in New Jersey, had a very good season. I watched Ace Bailey play twice this year, and I saw things that I liked. I saw things that I didn't like. The games I saw, he disappeared. Dylan Harper disappeared too, but you almost kind of give Dylan Harper a pass because it's pretty much Dylan Harper's team, and he was kind of trying to do everything. So he would score 17 in the first half and just totally disappear the rest of the way. But if you compare Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey has a lot more work to do to become the player that I personally think he thinks he is now. Right? Him trying to dictate where he goes, he's pretty much saying, I want to go to a team that, one, sucks. And 2, sucks enough where I'm going to get my shots, I'm going to get my PT, and it's going to be about me. And I think that's what he's angling for. So, 3 to the Sixers, that's where everyone kind of, the early mocks had him going. Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, Paul George. He might get playing time. There's one ball in Philly, and it's going to Maxey, Embiid, or Paul George. All right, you go to Charlotte, but Charlotte is where you go to die. Charlotte is a place where careers go to disappear, and you become this persona non grata. All right, Utah at 5, interesting. Right, they need players. They need points. They need names. All right, you think about Utah. Besides Jordan Clarkson, who we talked about the other night on the show on Monday, who else is in Utah? Who else is really getting you excited on the Utah Jazz roster? Jordan Clarkson is a heat check magnet, but he gets you excited. Like, Jordan Clarkson's the game I got to watch. Is there anyone else on that team that's like, yeah, I can see that? So, Ace Bailey, I think after Harper goes number 2, has expected. I think 3 on becomes very interesting because I'm curious to see where Ace Bailey goes and if he slides. I know those comparisons to Shedeur Sanders in the NFL draft, talking about Ace Bailey and how Ace Bailey's kind of trying to play the same game Shedeur played, and we saw that worked out for Shedeur Sanders getting drafted in the 5th round in Cleveland and being also in sports purgatory in Cleveland, Ohio. Hello, welcome in Jason Kortner from Brooklyn, New York. Hey, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. I had to go look for the perfect Cooper Flag shirt to put into terms who he's equivalent in for the Dallas Mavericks. I had to go get that Mr. Perfect shirt. He's going to be nothing but perfect over in Dallas when he gets there. He's going to sell out. He's going to be more famous than the Cowboys in about 5 years. I guarantee you that.
Wow. So, and then Nico's going to trade him too?
No. He's a cash cow. It's going to be, people's going to act, people 10 years from now, people's going to be like Dallas, Texas. They're going to be like Cooper Flag, JR from Dallas, and then Jerry Jones. In that order.
Damn. Jerry Jones is behind JR in Dallas? Damn.
Yep, afraid so.
So Dallas is officially on the clock. I opened the show talking about how we've been doing this, 8 years, the show?
8 years.
And every draft we do, we fall off by pick 5. And how we never have a draft that is. Have you had a draft that's deep? I thought we had a draft that we were engaged in throughout.
No.
Pick 20.
No, this is by far the deepest draft we covered. Because even that Towns draft wasn't this deep.
No, and I said, and deep here, I think, is after you get past Flag and Harper, I think you're looking at question marks, right? Edgecombe's a question mark. Ace Bailey, I don't know what the hell's going on with him. That's a huge question mark to see where he ends up. There was another player who his name just came up. I got to remember his name. There's another player that came up that I was looking at last night, and I was like, oh, I forgot he's in the draft too from Michigan. Oh, Wolf.
Oh, okay.
Wolf, something like that. Con Knuppel. I think I saw Knuppel play in the NCAA tournament. I'm like, how is he going to be as a pro? Is that more development for him, or can he step right in? I feel like there's so many questions when it comes to this draft of who can contribute right away, who's the project, and who's going to actually be on the damn roster in 2 years.
This is why you said everything to me. The draft starts at 3 because I feel like if we never really had this situation where 1 and 2 could be impact right away. You know what I mean? So I think Harper's going to get burned early. We know Flag's going to dominate early. But like you said, I wonder where Ace is going. I have a feeling that Philly might be like, F this. We didn't get a real good offer from anybody. We're just going to take you anyway.
And let it happen. If you want to sit out, sit out. Bruce, what's going on, bro? Hope all is well. Jason was a Cooper Flag shirt after he said he was not all that when he first saw it. This fun. Listen.
I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right.
In Jason's defense, I think we were both on the same page. That first 2 weeks of the season, I'm like, I don't see it.
I don't see it. But then he grew on us.
You know what's funny? He didn't grow on us in games against like Elon and like the Citadel. He grew on us when he played Kentucky, when he played North Carolina. When he got into that ACC schedule, didn't click. I was like, oh,
Yep.
got it. Which is funny because you would think you would see it against the shitty teams, not like conference rivals.
No, he steps up for big games, so I appreciate that from him.
So I have to give a shout out to The Athletic. If you subscribe to The Athletic, awesome. If you don't, please subscribe, everybody. They have a 200-page draft guide that I've been reading for the last week or so. So I have it up with me. I think we all know people's strengths. I'm going to read their weaknesses. I think the weaknesses are more interesting than the strengths. So we know Cooper Flag can shoot. He's a good rebounder, good leadership ability. But his weaknesses, when he gets drafted, I'm going to read them because I've never seen this on a draft preview, how someone has to dig so deep for weakness. Like, I've never seen so, that's it. That's the weakness. That's you really dug for that shit, huh?
But even by digging for that, like how far back did they dig for that? Like, we're talking about last year before college ball, or we're talking about like development. Like, where are they really digging for him?
AAU? I don't know. That far back, sophomore year high school.
AAU, the apparent cause of all Achilles injuries. That's the rumor going around.
So you agree with that statement that Matt Barnes said?
I don't agree with it, but I do think kids are definitely putting a lot of miles. But I don't agree.
Yeah, listen, those travel teams, you're playing. I mean, you're essentially playing 12 months. You're playing all year round, in and out of season. So by the time you get to college, where you're practicing, maybe sometimes twice a day, you're playing your games. Then you go to the NBA. You have at least. By the time you get to NBA, can we say 600 games on your feet by the time you get to the NBA?
Well, don't forget, like, even like let's say you just finished playing college in the NCAA tournament. That's April. You got April, May, June off, and then let's say you get drafted, you're going right to summer league in about 2 weeks in July. So then you got summer league, then you got training camp. So yeah, the miles do start slowly adding up.
Well, even at April, May, June, you're still training. You're still might go to combine. So I think 500-600 games on their feet by the time you get to the NBA, I feel like is that estimate. I really do think it's to the point where I'm like, Tatum, Halliburton, they're young. They're the AAU generation. Adam Silver at the podium. Foregone conclusion. Cooper Flag, number 1 pick. Yay. Goes to Dallas. Kyrie just signed his extension. Listen.
They're getting ready in Dallas.
Well, the thing with the Kyrie contract, too, because he kind of said, I don't want the option to sign me not long term, but a couple of years. That frees up $7 million. I read that they could go out and get, you mentioned Chris Paul on Monday. They can go out and get a point guard to kind of soften that blow of Kyrie not being around, on top of Cooper Flag, on top of AD, on top of Derek Lively. So you have a pretty good team. Their guards are not that great, but I think front court wise, they're set.
You're solid. You're solid in the front court, 100%.
And $7 million is not a lot of money. So I'm trying to figure out would Chris Paul take $7 million?
At this stage of his career, to try to win a championship, I think he would. I think he would take the veteran minimum at this point.
Sammy, you were right. I have way too much time on my hands reading this damn guide. You're completely correct. Kids and all. Bruce, Cooper Flag's going to be another Tony Kukoc.
No. No.
No, that's not going to happen.
Flag, he's going to be the best pure white boy since Larry Bird.
Ricky Rowe. Ricky Rowe circa 2025.
He is going to be everything Christian Laettner thought he was going to be. There you go.
Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned that because I watched it. I hate Laettner 30 for 30 again not so long ago. And as much as I hate Duke, and as much as I hate him growing up watching him, didn't you almost kind of start feeling bad for him, like midway through?
His pro career, no, because he did so much damage in college. He was what you call it? He was Tebow before Tebow, where he had so much success in the collegiate level, and then he was drafted to the Dream Team. don't feel sorry for him. He had a good
career.
Well,
I think the dream team messed him up. I think he should have never went to. I think him nor Shaq should have the dream team. He should have just kept it.
Been all pros.
All pros.
All pros. Yeah.
Getting that one college American player, it made no sense to bring them on. Bruce made a good point. American white or white? Because he mentions Dirk in the next sentence.
No, this is all about American white. They're gonna push him.
American white.
They're gonna push him. We're gonna see him in Cowboy Wrangler commercials real soon. I promise you. They're gonna market the crap out of this guy.
All right. Do we see him at the next MAGA rally in Arlington, Texas?
We might. He's from Maine. He's from Maine.
No, but Maine's blue. Maine's a blue state.
True. Very true.
So I think he might be leaning progressive. Let's see. Areas for improvement. And this is where he just started digging. His on-ball defense against perimeter players was not always amazing. He plays a bit high and punched off on the bounce. Handle is a potential point to watch. I don't know why he's handling the ball. But those are the three main weaknesses. He hunched over when he guards, and his on-ball defense is not always amazing, but sometimes amazing. I'm like, this is the worst scouting report I've ever read in my life.
That is a horrible scouting report. Like this is what you did pick. This is like you're trying to find some kryptonite for the guy. This is horrible. However, all those areas can easily be improved, and they will be with a great coach like Jason Kidd, and they're going to develop him. They're going to take their time developing him, where I don't see him getting more than like 25 minutes a game.
Yeah, I think he needs to play no more than that. No more than 25. I think for now is probably the perfect.
Like let him be the anchor for the second unit. That'll be fine.
Yep. All right, so Flag is number one on the clock. Next is San Antonio. Also, foregone conclusion, they're probably going to pick Dylan Harper, unless something crazy happens. I said this about Ace Bailey. I saw Dylan Harper play live. I think you did too, correct?
I did too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what did you think about Dylan Harper when you saw him?
I thought pretty much a more polished version of his dad. That's the first thing that stood out in my mind. Like his game is polished, and I think him going to San Antonio is a great fit. Him and Wembley, they're building a nice Orlando Magic Shaq-ish era with a young core.
So here's my question to you, because I wrote an article about this saying how Rutgers getting Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, I think, destroyed their program this year.
Oh, 100%.
I think they swung for the fences knowing they were staying for 1 year, but they're so top heavy, they had nothing else. It was Ace, it was Dylan, that was it. I think this year might have set Rutgers basketball back 4 years. I think right when Pico got there, I think we're back to that point because you're starting from scratch all over again because you went all in with these two guys that you knew weren't staying for a year. That's not Rutgers. Rutgers don't do that a lot, if ever.
Right. I feel like they felt the need to do that because they're the laughing stock of the Big Ten. So they have to do something to, make a splash. It wasn't a great splash because they couldn't even make the tournament, which I'm big on that. I remember we talked about it before with Ben Simmons. Like he couldn't get LSU to the tournament. And I'm like, to me, those are little factors. I don't really hold it too much on these two guys, but more so maybe Ace. I hold it a little bit more, but I like everything about Dylan Harper's game.
The only issue of Dylan Harper, there's a few games, not just the ones I saw him live, but the games I watched on TV. He had tendencies he disappeared. Right? You did not hear. Yeah. They played Princeton. I was covering that game. 17 or 18 points first half. He had 5 the rest of the game in the second half against Princeton, and they lost that game to Princeton. So he had those spells where he just kind of disappeared completely. So to me, that was a red flag, not completely. I also think, and the scouting report said it too, he's not a great athlete. Like, he's not like really quick, really fast, really jumping high. He's not that guy.
He's just relying on he's more relying on genetics. He's not really. He doesn't put
but
the work
in the NBA, can you really depend on genetics in the NBA? You might have to go to the gym and go to the lab and be like, I got to get a little quicker. I got to jump a little higher. I got to do everything else perfect because I'm not the athlete that are like the Tyrese Halliburtons or John Morants and stuff like that.
It's funny you mention that because yes, I agree with you on that. But it goes back to you heard the little debate what happened at Fanatic Fest with First Take with Tracy McGrady comparing himself to like, hey, if I was on the Lakers, I would have won this and that. Kind of, not saying he's better than Kobe, but he was kind of like alluding like he should have. If he was on the team, he would have got there. But I think about the Mamba mentality. I think about Jordan. These guys they're always continuously working on the game. I feel like McGrady kind of short sold himself like that by saying, hey, if I had better teammates, you had Yao Ming. You know what I mean? You had some good teammates in Houston, but back to Dylan Harper, I think he'll be fine. He'll be fine. I trust San Antonio program.
Pull-up shooting was an adventure this year. Made 27.5% of his pull-up mid-range jumpers and 29% of his pull-up threes. Show potential and comfort with it in high school. He will get there. More of a ball. Yeah, I mean, is pull-up jumpers still a thing? Does anyone pull up anymore?
Not no more.
Yeah, I thought so. like pull-up jump. I'm like, wait, does anyone just stop and pop? No one does that no more. So that's not an issue. So he's going second. Third is where the fun starts. Third is where Philly is. Fourth, Charlotte. Fifth is Utah. Sixth is the Wizards, where Ace Bailey probably wants to go, which no one's ever said in their life they would go to Wizards. But I'm looking at 3. Like you said it when we started. Philly can go, fuck it all. We're going to draft you. Do you think that's what they're going to do, or do you think they'll say, let's get VJ Edge Coleman, call it a day?
They could go that route, but it all depends. Like if they really think they look at the landscape of the East. Do they want to invest in a young player, or do they want to take this draft pick and flip it for somebody else? Like I feel like if Embiid comes back 75% healthy, they're a legitimate top 4 in the East.
Well, and that's interesting because now you have Indiana's well Halliburton. We're going to talk about Boston in a few minutes. Boston's in the middle of a fire sale. Mm-hmm. So if you get someone that can just kind of flow right into the rotation of Philly, like you said, top 4, top 3, because the East got, I hate to say it, 2 teams weaker. Is that wait? They have a flag 32 jersey. So I'm assuming he's wearing number 32.
He's wearing 32. Yep.
Interesting. Okay. We can roll with that. Okay. So you're go to Fanatics, get your Cooper Flag number 32 Mavs jerseys on sale right now. And your Flag Day New Balances that look terrible. Oh, I saw them last night. This is awful. It's awful shoes. I do want to talk about OKC because OKC is 15th, and I know I was watching something today about what they could do. We talked about OKC on Monday as well. I think there's a move in them tonight, and I don't know why. I didn't hear this from nobody. This is not like a phone call I got or like whatever. I really think that either Alex Caruso or Jalen, Jalen, are up on the block tonight. I really do think they won. Okay, cool. We can get better. And we could use the pieces that literally Caruso was, in that conversation for like, should he be MVP of the finals? His stock got up. Like it
didn't go up. It didn't go up.
Like, you want this guy? So I think OKC is talking to somebody tonight about something.
So who makes the trade first, OKC or the Nets?
Ooh. Well, the Nets already told teams they're staying at 8. As of like 1 o'clock.
Yeah, but they have they still got four more picks.
Yeah, they got 22 last night in the Porzingis trade, which makes no sense. We'll talk about that in a second. Dylan Harper drafted officially. He goes to San Antonio. I forgot he was All-American in the McDonald's All-American game. Totally forgot about that. No, the Nets are interesting. Before we talk about the Nets, let's go to the Celtics right now while we're thinking about it.
Okay.
Twofold question. What the hell are they doing besides cutting salary? And are they done?
I don't think they're done. And I think they don't want to trade Jaylen Brown and Derek White. However, if they get an offer that they can't refuse, they might be willing to, scrape this whole thing.
So with salary and what happened?
No, Philly took Edgecombe.
Okay. Well, you must be ahead of me. I'm on a computer. All right. So Philly to take Edgecombe. So that whole thing. So now they said, let's just get somebody. All right. So I think, what was the number? What
Does
salary?
Does this make Grimes expendable? Like, would you move Grimes if you got a better,
I mean, based on how he played last year, yes. Like for what he became last year, I'm talking about Caruso a few minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
His stock has never been higher right now. So if you're gonna move Grimes, you gotta move him now. And by now, I mean like tonight. Tonight's probably the night.
Right.
And you're gonna get the pretty much the same exact player like him. I don't think you're gonna get any higher than Grimes. Right. Maybe probably a little bit better defensively, but not by much. So the Celtics went from $500 million of taxes and salary, and I think because of these two trades they made with Jrue Holiday, who we talked about on Monday, which is weird, he got traded like an hour after our show ended.
Literally,
a whole conversation about it. And Porzingis, that number went from like over $500 million down to $280. The extensions for Tatum and Brown are now in effect. Derek White's making a mint. Do you move off of Jaylen Brown? Do you trade? Obviously, Tatum can't trade Tatum, but even when Tatum was healthy, he's untouchable. Do you just say, let's trade White and or Tatum, White and or Brown, and just build around Tatum?
I think they want to keep the flexibility for the 2026, 2027. So I think they probably want to keep these guys. However, if they get an offer that they can't refuse, then they'll move them. But I think even trading Holiday and Porzingis, they got offers that they probably didn't think they would get. Like they legit got what? They got out of Porzingis' contract, which a lot of people didn't think they was going to be able to, and they did it pretty quickly with the help of Atlanta and Brooklyn, which I kind of think Porzingis kind of fits with Atlanta a little bit.
Well, that was my question about Porzingis. How well does he fit? Because they tried it with Gallinari and they tried it with Bogdanovich, big shooter, big who stretch the floor. It works sometimes, didn't work a lot. Can this work with Trae Young and the rest of them?
I mean, if he stays healthy, it could work, and if he stays out of the Magic City, it could also work. But these are all key factors when it comes to Porzingis. But I think it will get them maybe a little bit above the play-in threshold of the Eastern Conference. For Portland, I don't understand why they made that deal. I don't even think Holiday understands. He seems like he doesn't want to be there. So would that be a buyout candidate for somebody? Who knows?
I mean, the Holiday move was a straight money move. Like they 32.4 this year, 34.8 next year, 37.2 player option, 27-28. So that was a strictly, we need to get this money off the books. Porzingis was more of like, they could have kept him around, but he's making 30.7. And they're like, well, if you got rid of 32.4, we can get rid of 30.7. We moved $63 million in one day. And the new ownership probably said, yes, let's do that.
Not to mention how they really got outworked by Brunson in that second round. So that didn't help either.
And listen, you always hear, Holidays defensively, Jrue Holiday, and Brunson smoked him. So that right there is like, yeah, maybe you're not as good as we thought. Maybe we shouldn't be paying you this much money. And now you go to Portland, where I love Chauncey Billups, but I don't really know what his future is in Portland. Because I'm like, what are you building out there? Because I don't know what you're doing.
Listen, man. The West is a juggernaut of a conference, so Portland's ceiling is probably playing at the 10th seed anyway.
I'm glad you said juggernaut, because I was gonna say clusterfuck, because you have half the conference who seem to know what they're doing, and the other half of the conference like Portland, Sacramento,
Memphis too.
Memphis, like. Let's try this. And it's like, nothing you do working. Like, can we just start all over? At this point, you traded Dame. The idea was to start all over, and now you get Jrue Holiday, which kind of throws off your rebuild. So, so you're trying to compete now to get a play-in? Because that's all you're going to get is a play-in in the West for Portland.
Yep. They got to figure it out.
So Drew Holiday joins DeAndre Ayton, Jeremy Grant, Denny, my boy, Robert Williams, Matisse Thybulle, who I forgot was still there. I think he just denied his player option actually, so he's gone. And our man Scoot in Portland. That's what they got going on right now in Portland. Right now in the third pick, we got Philly. They pick Edgecombe. I'm very behind here. I really gotta speed this up. There we go. Okay. Fourth pick. Who's my fourth?
Charlotte's on the clock. They got 55 seconds left. So yeah.
All right, cool. All right, yeah. For some reason I wasn't live on my feed. All right, so who does Charlotte pick here? Who do you think?
I mean, they need a lot of help. So I mean, it all depends like where you want to build, which direction you want to go. Do you like the parts that you have? Do you want to grab a shooter? Do you want to grab a big here? Do you want another point guard to pair alongside Melo?
No. Honestly, I was thinking Edgecombe at first, but now looking at it now, I think Kanupo might go for.
Stays in North Carolina.
Stays in North Carolina, and he's a shooter. They need more shooters. At the end of the day, Melo needs someone to throw the ball out to, and I think that's the guy for right now. Bruce said he would trade LaMelo. I don't disagree with him at this point.
I mean, yeah. I had to think about it.
I agree.
I had to think about it because it's new ownership. It's not Jordan anymore. So it all depends on, do they see Melo as hey, he gets fans in the seats, or are we on a rebuild properly?
I mean, I think the question becomes too, can you really build around LaMelo Ball? I don't think you can.
I mean, he has missed a lot of games, so yeah.
He has. Like, I don't know if you can, if that's the guy you want to be like, hey, this is our centerpiece, and we're going to get players to go around you as our centerpiece. I don't, he's not that guy to me. And I feel like Charlotte needs someone who is, this is their guy. Everyone else is going to play off this guy. And LaMelo's not that guy. And I feel like Charlotte probably doesn't want to admit that. But they might have to now. I think it's time.
Who do you think is in a better situation? Who do you think is in a better situation, Charlotte or Washington, before these picks come in?
I don't know. Washington's got CJ McCollum, so I don't know. They got rid of Jordan Poole, so that's one step in the right direction. Someone's doing right in Washington. Said, why do you still got Jordan Poole again? Why do you make that trade? So I think Washington.
Okay.
All right. Pick is in for Charlotte at number 4. They pick up Kanupo.
Yep.
So he's number 4. He goes to Charlotte, gives him a shooter. He played really well too. Whenever Cooper Flag kind of disappeared, which happened, he took over, especially in the NCAA tournament. I think I heard his name a lot going through Prudential Center. Like, he's really good. Like, because everyone's there to see Cooper, we're like, this guy's really good too. So, do you build around Khan? Do you just trade LaMelo and like Khan and maybe someone else and go, this is our 2?
Well, now you could really explore trading Melo because you got the the Duke Blue Blood in your building. The fans are gonna still show up. You just got to figure out, like, hey, listen, it's the Eastern Conference. A rebuild shouldn't take that long in the East anymore. So we'll see what happens.
So here, I'm looking at the roster right now. Do you say we trade LaMelo, who's making 37.9 this year, 40.7 the year after, 43.5 the year after that, and 46.3 the year after that? Do you trade him and say, Knuppel, Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller, we're building around those 3. Those are our bricks.
I forgot they still got Bridges. It all depends what you get back from Melo. What can you get? What can you fetch out there in the market? Would you trade Melo straight up for Zion?
No, I would need more than that because I feel like Zion's you can't depend on that. So I would need something else to make it more palatable. I feel like Zion's going to get hurt. And I'm like, so I need something else to kind of like we got hurt, but you got like 2 draft picks and like first, not like second round draft picks, which are like real currency all of a sudden now.
Or how about Melo to Toronto? Get you some wings over there. Got Barnes, maybe?
Scotty Barnes, RJ.
Mm-hmm. Maybe quickly.
I feel like if you make that trade, it would either have to be Scotty Barnes. You probably do Scotty Barnes a first and a second. You could probably do LaMelo for RJ and quickly and a second. I feel like you got to give up a little bit more for Melo because you're getting a scorer. So LaMelo's gonna be by himself traded, and you have to give a lot back. So I feel like if you trade RJ Barrett, Emmanuel quickly in a second, that could get the job done. Possibly.
I like that. I like that. That would be a good move. That will get the U.S.-Canadian relationships going again. Sending them some good exports over there.
See, so Zion hurt on and off the court, and Zion is currently at the rib spot right now. Which I can totally see that. I can see that right now.
I can see that.
Third time Duke has multiple top 5 picks in a draft. I'm very curious about Duke next year, how they recover. Because I know they did. I think Proctor stayed in. Malachi's out. So they lost 3/5 of the starting lineup during this draft. I'm curious to see how this all works out for them, if they can kind of get back to the Final Four. Because you lose 3/5. I don't care if it's in a transfer portal or if it's back in the day. You lose 3 of 5 starters. You're gonna have a tough season the year after. I don't care if you're Duke or if you're St. John's.
Well, Duke usually have that gap year where things are bad, especially when they lose so much talent to the draft. And then, to be fair, I think North Carolina's gonna have a good year. I think Syracuse is gonna have a good year at ACC. So I expect Duke to have a down year, but still be in the upper tier of the ACC.
Is this the year that Boozer's sons get there too, or is that next year?
Yeah, I think it's this year.
So maybe, in that case, maybe it's not gonna be as bad. So yeah, Celtics is fire sale. That's happening. I'm pretty sure something else is gonna happen tonight with the Celtics. With Knuppel, substandard athlete by NBA standards. Doesn't play with any level of twitch. Very strong, but also can be heavy-footed in his movements for a wing. Has very little vertical burst. Has to load up off 2 feet to even dunk the basketball. Has little to no first step. That's the first bullet of the Chicago report.
Just say you question his hops. That's it. Just say that.
We question his athleticism, or you might just say he's a gym rat and just came out and just let everyone know he's white, because you kind of said everything that a white player does not have in that
pretty much point. Pretty much.
Not an athlete, not a good jumper, has no first step, not fast. I'm like, God damn, I feel bad for him reading that.
He's a better Grayson Allen.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, he's a way better Grayson Allen. I can tell you that right now.
And I'm not even talking about morals. I'm talking about basketball skills.
All right, so 5th is Utah. Ace Bailey's on the screen, and if you watch on ESPN with us, does Utah take the shot here and get Ace Bailey?
Danny Ainge, being the gambler that he is, unless Ace Bailey's family and Cam said we don't want to go to Utah, I would suspect Danny might want to take a sniff. I'm pretty sure he was definitely thinking about it once he heard he didn't want to go to Philly's training,
So if you're a GM and you just heard a player say, "I don't want to play for you. I have no interest," and he's going to fall in your range, would you still make that move? Because I'm petty, so I'll still be like, "Nah, I'm still going to pick you. And if you want to sit out, you can, but we own your draft rights no matter what."
I normally would agree with you, but for the fact that the top 3 we haven't really had this in a long time. The first 3 picks were actually good situations that are teams that are ready to win now. So it'd have been like Thibodeau. You would have not seen the light of day. It'd have been Summer League, and then they'd stash you to G League. So that's probably why he's like, hey, let me go to a bad team where I get my shots off, I get my volume up, and get my name up. So I understand where he's coming from. Like if it had been Washington,
Yep,
so there you
it
go.
happened.
There we go.
Ace Bailey goes to Utah.
You know, Danny Ainge was like, oh, we're gonna bring him over here in the cold. He thought Brunswick was cold. Oh, he ain't gonna say nothing until he gets to Salt Lake.
So Ace Bailey, the plan. I don't know if the plan worked. If it's what he wanted, because I think I really think he wanted to go to Washington. I really think that was the plan.
Washington loses again. Danny Ainge don't play, man. Danny Ainge is ruthless. He saw a crack in the arm, I'm gonna take it.
Well, also too, you think about you go to Washington, you know the team's gonna suck. You're gonna get your shots. It's a major metropolitan city. So you go from that possibility to Utah.
Chocolate City to Snowflake Central, baby. Let's go. I like Salt Lake City. It's
he doesn't look happy. He does not look happy right now.
You got drafted, young man. Be happy.
Listen, I have zero sympathy for him. I don't know, because I'm like, at the end of the day, you know what you're doing, turning down workout invitations and staying out, and you're trying to dictate where you go. And I'm sorry. No. That's not how it works. We're picking you.
Damn, I didn't realize Washington was 6. Oh man.
Yep. Mm-hmm. One pick short. Room for improvement for Ace. Has immense tools. Huh?
Attitude, number one.
Attitude. Has immense tools, but doesn't always use them to his fullest extent. Plays upright, which means he doesn't always access his explosiveness. Worry about his overall flexibility. Rarely gets leverage. It gets in a free runway. It's over. He can throw it down a highlight, but it's harder for him to create those advantages on his own. Rarely seems to get by his man totally, despite his prototypical measurements and athleticism. This is the one that kind of scares me. I saw this live. Doesn't play with much force or physical strength yet. So
Keyword
against
jet.
Yeah.
Keyword jet.
So even against Princeton, who Princeton's Ivy League school, small players. I think the tallest player was like 6'9". They bodied him that second half when they beat Rutgers. So as that game wore on, Princeton started putting bodies on him, and Ace couldn't handle that. And Ace, kind of like Harper, kind of was like a non-factor for the rest of that game. So that should be interesting in the West, because the West is more finesse anyway, so he doesn't really need to be that physical. But he only played the East 40 times a year. It's going to be interesting to see that. Ace Bailey and Lauri Markkanen. How's that combination for you?
It's pretty interesting. They got something. They got something to work with out there in Utah.
Other question: is Jordan Clarkson going to move?
I think he was supposed to move like 2 years ago. So I think there's always a chance for him to move.
He moves. I feel like he's supposed to move every year. Every year is like, yeah, Jordan Clarkson's out there, and they'll pull it. Kind of like Miles Turner was supposed to be traded like 10 years ago.
Every year I'm hearing Miles Turner get traded. Every year. Speaking of Miles Turner, right. I think Indiana should be the team that go after him.
Wait, there's something about Ja going to Brooklyn. Yes, it is fake news. That ain't happening.
Are we sure?
Sean Marks is not going after Ja Morant.
Are we sure?
He's not. Listen, if Shams hasn't said anything yet, I'm gonna kind of lean that out and put that out there. I want to talk about the Knicks for a second too, while we're on a commercial break for the draft. Frank Isola on his radio show this morning on Sirius XM mentioned how his sources told him that Mikal Bridges, they're listening about moving off of Bridges. Do you think that's a good move? Because he's eligible for extension of the next year. I think it's like I want to say 4 years, 160 or something like that for the extension. Is that a good move for them, or say let's ride the year out and see what happens?
I'm more inclined to ride the year out and see what happens. However, if they can I'm all about getting some of parts. If they get some good parts for him, if you had to ask me who I'd rather have, OG or Bridges, I'm leaning towards OG. So if you get some good parts, like if you could flip him into for a shit, I mean, anything productive.
Well, I think the question with Bridges, obviously, you're not getting those 5 draft picks back. Like they're gone. You're not gonna get those back any.
Right.
But what is the market for Mikal Bridges for a trade? Because hearing that this morning, I've been kind of running that through my head. Like, what would we ask for if we're moving off of Mikal Bridges? Because I don't think he's gonna get you back a first round pick. I think he might get you back a couple players.
Oh, sure.
You think he's worth a first round? It depends on the team, because if the pick's in the 20s, who cares? If it's a contender, different conversation, but not a lottery pick.
I mean, how far away is the Pelicans? How far away is Sacramento? How far away?
Oh shit, far.
How far away? The Clippers.
But who on the Clippers would you want? As I bring up their roster right now, who on the Clippers are like, we could use him?
How?
Yeah. That's actually good. He doesn't play, but defensively, you lose something because Norman Powell ain't great defensively.
Listen, you lose Bridges, the floodgates open because all you got is Mitch at this point. Mitch and OG as defensive guys. Everybody else, they'll let them slide right by them. And Hart at times.
Would you do a Bridges for Norman Powell and a Derek Jones? 2 for 1?
2 for 1? Okay.
I don't know what the Clippers draft situation is. I don't think they have a lot of draft picks actually at all, so they can't do any draft picks. So it'll probably have to be all players or 20, 30.
Bridges for Jaylen Brown. I mean Jaylen Brown. I mean, that's his name that just got traded from Houston. Green.
Oh, Green? Jalen Green?
Yeah.
Does he play defense?
I didn't watch enough of him.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. Getting rid of Bridges sounds great in theory, but I feel like we're going to lose out on defense because Bridges was not shooting well most of the season.
Early, yeah.
But even when he wasn't shooting well, his defense was good. It wasn't like I think his defense got spectacular in the playoffs, and how hard he played especially against Boston. You want to lose that?
It's got to be. I mean, I'm only trading him unless you're getting Giannis, but
that ain't happening. Washington pick is in at number 6. They get Trey Johnson, guard out of Texas. I like this pick. They don't have a point at all, so this is the perfect pick to pass the ball to Chris Middleton. Middleton exercised his option this week, so Chris Middleton and Trey Johnson. That's your combo guard right there. God bless the Wizards. They're so bad. I feel so bad for them.
a lot of. Hey, listen, man. They're tanking for the Boozer. One of the Boozer kids next season, so they're already on the clock.
Bless their heart. 20 points a game, 2 assists a game, 40% from 3. Lack of strength and explosiveness in his game. Doesn't feature much force. Not a strong leaper. Wouldn't say his first step is all that strong. Doesn't really play through contact all that well. Not afraid of it. I'm trying to find anything. Even when he gets to the rim, he does not take advantage.
I mean, all things that could work on.
And they said his decision-making gets kind of dicey. And as a point guard, I don't want to hear that. Or I don't think he's a point guard. I think he's that weird combo.
Combo, yeah.
That old quickly shit that I hate.
Yeah.
I hate that. Like, either you're point or you're 2. Like, I hate that. Like, you don't have a spot for you.
Right.
Yeah, Rutgers got 2 guys drafted. Congratulations. Too bad Rutgers stunk last year because of those 2 players. And I will die in that hill. I will die in that hill.
Still, they got 2 guys drafted in the top 4. That's for Rutgers. Any sport, that's impressive.
I get it, and I'm proud. I'm proud. State University of New Jersey, very happy about that. But I felt like at worst you get one, and then get some other pieces. You got both of them, and Pike said, "Oh, we're done," and that was it. And you cannot win in the Big Ten with two players who is two, and then Zach Martini, the transfer from Princeton. That was who they got this year. And they let Clifford Amelia go to Auburn, who they needed. He was this piece they had to keep, and they let him transfer. Not let him, but he transferred to Auburn.
He saw the writing on the wall.
Was Auburn? Sorry, Alabama. They played Duke. They played Duke in the Elite Eight. If they had Clifford, I think it'd been a lot better for him. But I'm proud. But this is just saying the team that program. Highest drafted players from Texas. Durant and Aldridge, Trey Johnson 6, LaSalle Thompson. I forgot about LaSalle Thompson, 82.
Mo Bamba.
And Mo Bamba. Where's Mo Bamba at now? Who does he play for?
I was just about to ask you that question.
Where the hell did Mo Bamba go? New Orleans 9 o'clock. This looks like a VJ Edgecombe situation because he's probably the best available player right now. Because for New Orleans, you got obviously you traded Ingram last year. You traded CJ McCollum yesterday.
Yeah.
You're down to Zion Williamson, and that's it. And Jose Alvarado. That's what they got right now.
I'm a big Jose fan.
Where does New Orleans go now? Because you traded two of your two of your best players, and you stuck with a hurt, possibly indicted Zion Williamson.
Not indicted. Oh my goodness. This sounds like a project pick. I think they're going to get the point guard from France. I think that's the direction they're going to go.
I'm trying to figure out why VJ's slid down already. I was not thinking he would be the one that slides this far already.
Do you think the Nets take him, or you think the Nets stick to the plan and get the center from Duke?
I mean, if VJ Edgecombe's there at 8, you pick VJ. I don't think you pick for the Nets, you pick the best player on the board. Who's ever on your board at the top of it when you get to you, that's who you get with. I feel like you forget a plan if you're the Nets. You don't have a plan. Just go out there and just get the job done. I'm going through here now. Derek Queen is a player that I was looking at too for the Nets. Has another big guy to go with Nick Claxton, although apparently his workouts stunk, according to scouts. Derek Queen from Maryland, his workouts were trash. His combine measurables were awful. I'm like, okay, maybe he's not a top 10 pick. I take that back.
I mean, maybe he's just, he's conditioning like Zion does. Okay.
I mean, if you put him with Nick Claxton, he's not the center of attention, for lack of a term. You could put him on, you could move him along, play him 20 minutes a game. He could spell Claxton, get him into the rotation, get him used to it. But just based on what I've read in the last 2 weeks, he's had, besides Ace not showing up to any of them, Derek Queen's had some of the worst workouts people said in years. Which I'm like, that's bad. That's not good.
Oh yeah, that's not good. Not good.
I see. Mark's talking, so I'm assuming something's about to happen. So I'm just waiting now. When Bobby Mark's up there talking, I'm like, at the salary cap conversation, something's about to happen.
I'm keeping Woj alerts on. So
not Woj, Shams, dude. Shams.
Sorry, my fault.
Woj is out of the game, man. He's out of the game. How does Woj feel tonight? What do you think he's up to tonight?
I'm pretty sure he was his fingers were rolling a little bit. It was like, oh shit, I can't forget. I gotta send all my leaks to Shams.
I'm looking through right now. Knicks are going to interview Pelicans associate coach James Borrego, former Charlotte Hornets coach. They're interviewing him next. So Brown, Taylor Jenkins, and we interviewed Micah Nori yesterday, which is always good. Just a big fat assistant coach in Minnesota. We interviewed him, so that's cool. 3 weeks 3 weeks of no coach. I'm getting nervous at this point now.
You got to stay the course. They'll be fine.
Stay the course. All right, New Orleans on the clock. Adam Silver at the podium. And New Orleans selects Jeremiah Fears out of Oklahoma. Okay. VJ still slipping. So, VJ might end up with the Nets.
I'm surprised they went this route. Okay.
I mean, they just need bodies at this point. They just need guys. All right, I'm bringing up Fears' scouting report so we can shit on him a little bit.
First Oklahoma player drafted since Trae Young.
How long ago was that? Now, how long has Trae's been? 7 years?
2018. Yep, 2018.
Damn. That's when you start feeling old. Like, wow, 7 years has been like. Where is Canoopel? That's done. Trae, Ace. I mean, according to this guide, it seems like that he wasn't even meant to go this high. So,
for Fears, right? Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think Fears was. I think he was more like in the 12 range. I think Ace being picked up at 4 shuffled the deck a little bit.
yeah, Fears was the 18th ranked player according to
18th?
The Athletic. 18th. One season in Oklahoma, 17 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Let's go down to weaknesses. Check those out. 6 feet 2 inches, 2.5 inches without shoes, 6'5" wingspan. Doesn't have much strength. Over dribble, get himself in trouble. That's a problem. And too much creation. Yeah, I can see that. I can never see him with the ball in his hand way too much in Oklahoma and trying to create things, and probably should not have been doing that. All right, so at the net number 8. Listen, I'm. Where does the Nets go here? What happens now?
Best available player.
So they said a playmaker and a shooter was their, I think, the 2 needs. Best available. Listen,
Do they trade?
Sorber.
Do they trade Cam Johnson this season?
Trade either one of them. You don't need both of them.
You don't need both of them.
You can't, because I feel like Cam Thomas sees the ball in his hands a lot. Cam Johnson, you want to get him touches because he's a volume guy. If Cam Johnson doesn't touch the ball a lot, he's not going to get hot. He's not going to get warm, and it's going to be whatever.
Right.
So you can't have both. You can't play them at the same time. I think Jordy did that a lot last year, and I think realized midway through the year, like, I got to stunt this a little bit and not have them on 4 at the same time.
Right.
Bruce said this class. Hold on, I can bring it up because it's hilarious. This class is full of G League Hall of Famers. Listen, I said after Harper's flag.
I'll say this about this class: they're very iced out compared to other classes. Usually, they got the suits game is a little tight, but this class, my God, everybody's blinging. Everybody's eating good in NIL, or was eating good in NIL.
Listen, I will say this about this draft too. We're actually into this. Last year we were just like this. Is it over yet? Can we leave now? At least there's something here, and like there's some meat. We got the Duke stuff. We got the Ace situation. We got Brooklyn with 18 picks in the first round. Like, there's a lot happening here and in the periphery.
I'm just surprised there hasn't been a trade yet. Surprised there hasn't been a trade yet.
Listen, the Nets got a minute 35 to make a trade, and I really think something's about to happen.
The longer the Nets are in Brooklyn, they get better with the images. They make sure not to show Manhattan anymore. I appreciate that.
I know. You got to show the Brooklyn Bridge.
Got to show the bridge. But don't show it from the Manhattan side. You got to show it from the Brooklyn side. They're getting better at it. It took them a while.
Well, I know they're hyping up the cap space, and yeah, $45 million is a lot of money for cap space. But what?
Who you getting? Who's available?
Yeah, they're slapping hands in that war room. Something happened. Something's going on in there. I see Joe Tsai in there dapping, so something's happening in that room. If you're Sean Marks, do you use that $45 million, or do you say screw it, let's pocket it and like just roll what we got?
First of all, the way they're clapping hands is like they're bringing. Yeah, that's not for the 8th pick. So I don't know what's going on here.
Not in this draft.
I don't know who you get. Like who's the best available free agent right now on the market? In a year where it seems like everyone's opting into their contract.
Yeah, I feel a lot of people opted in. So I feel like there's no one really like blowing the doors off people about like, oh, best free agent there, because everyone's like, yeah, I'm staying put. Why am I going anywhere?
Exactly.
I'm trying to think so. Free agents. I'll bring up in a second because I'm very curious about what just happened, because that was like a 1996 draft high five 8th pick type thing. Like something's going on. Like it can't just be that. Now wait for we have a trade.
Do we?
Wait, is Harden a free agent or did he opt in?
I want to say he might have opted in.
I feel like he's on this list for best free agents, but I feel like he's not actually a free agent. Yeah, LeBron's not really. This list is weird. I think they're all assuming people aren't opting in. Miles Turner, he's a free agent. Finally.
I mean, does he want to cash out and get out of Indy? Right?
Well, here's the thing with this list, though. There's a lot of player options, and I'm assuming everybody's going to opt in except for like a Malik Beasley, or or either player options or it's restricted free agency. So even if you make an offer, who cares? They just get matched up anyway. Here we go. Igor Denham from BYU. Kind of a project.
Interesting. Wait, they're really high-fiving for this?
I feel. I know. They were dabbing like they got Kobe. I'm like, damn, they're really happy over there.
Listen, man. Maybe he's the second great white hype. I don't know.
But if you get Igor, why didn't you think about Walter Clayton Jr. from Florida? Like, you're shooting. This is kind of high for Igor. Why didn't you just go with Walter Clayton, who has? I know Bruce gonna love this. What I'm about to say. Like, he was there. Like, Igor only played 1 year in BYU. Looked good, but he played in the Big 12. Like, that's not great.
I mean, they are picking again in 11 spots, so we'll see what happens.
Listen, I'm almost assuming that this is not going to be the end game for.
Oh my God!
Like,
do you see them? Did you just see the monitor?
No.
When he shook the commissioner's hand, the picture in the background was Keith Van Horn, and that's exactly who it reminds me of right now. That was perfect. Well played, NBA. Well played.
Good job, NBA guys. Keith Van Horn.
Oh my God!
So he is a playmaker. Listen, all the descriptions on here, pick and roll playmaker, is great. He should have stayed another year, because I watched a couple of games, because I love those BYU games at like 11 o'clock on a Thursday. I feel like another year there would have benefited him.
Right.
Him coming out, and I get why you come out, because if you're a guaranteed lottery pick, you come out. But
look at that list.
Wow.
Look at that
Sean
list.
Bradley, Rafael Orgeo, and Igor Denham.
Woo.
That's a hell of a list to be included on, guys. Good job.
Igor Van Horn. Let's get it.
Igor Van Horn. I love the fact that they put up Van Horn next to him.
I'm looking forward to
back there is like, oh my God. Someone back there is like, I got something. I got something.
Stop showing the Nets clapping. Stop it. It's not good. Stop it. The memes are coming.
I'm looking up his scouting report real quick so I can see what's wrong with him. I mean, but we already know what's wrong with him. He should stay in college another year. It wouldn't have hurt. Here we go. 10 points.
They showing the fan like, who's that? They showing the one Brooklyn hipster. Who's that guy?
I don't watch college basketball. Most of them don't. 10 points a game, 5 assists a game, 27% from 3, which is very scary.
But he is a playmaker.
Oh, here we go. Weaknesses. Does not have much athletic burst. A significant issue for his game. Has a ball handler. Not overly vertical. Definitely more of a point guard than a wing for reasons we'll dive into, blah, blah, blah. Not strong enough. You can tell by how skinny he is. Doesn't have an enormous bag of tricks. His handle is rudimentary at this stage. Nearly 3 turnovers a game. Heavy ball pressure is his problem. Teams like Providence, Ole Miss, Houston, and Iowa State gave him problems. If you can crawl into his handle, he struggles to get past athletic long defenders, which is most of the NBA athletic long defenders. So, good job, Nets. You got a point guard who can't dribble when he's under pressure.
Now, do they draft him to package him later?
I would hope so. Listen, you said it. They were high-fiving and clapping like something else happened. This could not have been the only reason why they were doing all that. Ain't no way. No. Bruce, I agree. Waste the pick.
I mean, it's what you gonna do when you have like 20 of them in the first round. I mean,
but you had 8. Like, and you had, I'm sorry, VJ Edgecombe, you had Thomas Sorber, the center from Georgetown. You had Walter Clayton, who, I mean, I think Walter Clayton at 8 would have been kind of a stretch, but you could have brought him in. And you brought him in with no handle, no athleticism, 10 points a game, and turns the ball over 3 times a game. You can bring in Walter Clayton, who put on a scoring display in a national championship game in an NCAA tournament.
Man, like
I don't think he's going to be there at like 15.
They'll be picking again in about 10 picks.
You are a lot more diplomatic about within this fight. I'm like, that pick stunk. You're like,
we never know, man.
You're like, let him cook. They'll figure this out.
It's something about white guys on the Nets, man. It's bringing back old fond memories. So we'll see how it plays out.
Was it Keith Van Horn? Oh, what was it? There's another white guy. Nat Krisic.
Yes, there you go.
Mm-hmm. If there's another one. No, he was mixed. Aaron Williams was mixed. Yeah, I always forget about him. So right now, your best available, according to Jay Billis, is Kaman Maluch from Duke.
Which we all thought a lot of people thought he was going to go to the Nets.
Wait, did VJ get picked? He's not on this board, so I'm assuming he might. No, he's not on the board. Colin Murray Boyles from South Carolina, Derek Queen from Maryland, he's still there. Thomas Sorber from Georgetown, Leah McNeely from UConn, who apparently shot up boards the last 2 days. The other Utah guy who stayed in college last year. Danny Wolf from Michigan, he's still out there. Walter Clayton, we talked about him. Drake Powell from North Carolina, don't know why he even came out. My dark horse first round pick, Ryan Kalbrenner from Clayton. Big East Player of the Year.
Okay.
Really good. But we talk about non-athleticism. That is the epitome of big man with no athleticism whatsoever. Just Bill Weddington 2.0.
Damn.
So, but, see what happens. So Toronto's up on the clock. Number 9. I'm assuming they're showing Colin Murray Boyle, so I'm assuming that's who they might go with. Let's see. Maluch is still there from Duke. I think it's probably between those two guys. I'm assuming Murray Boyles. Maluch should have stayed in college for one more year. I don't know why he came out this year.
Yeah. Oh, Rich Paul. That's why he came out.
Sitting next to Murray Boyles. Who is that? Is that his chick?
I don't know.
Just these are questions that we have to ask now for drafts. We got to ask these questions. Who's going to be the beneficiary of this draft pick? Adam Silver at the podium. Toronto, number 9 pick overall. And it will be Colin Murray Boyles from South Carolina. South Carolina, listen, SEC, good team. His name came up a lot throughout the SEC in that schedule. I hate to admit the SEC is so good at football and basketball, but basketball, they're stacked. And I think it's because they have like 800 teams in it.
Agreed. I was looking at who he's hugging.
Oh, that's his girlfriend. Yep, there you go.
Well, I appreciate that he hugged his girlfriend last. He hugged mom, then he hugged the girl's mom, and then he hugged his aunt, and then tapped his dad, and now he's making his rounds. They raised him right.
Wait, so you don't hug the girlfriend first?
Absolutely not. Not on draft night. Not on draft night.
Hey, we know better than that. Don't do that.
Do not be Russell Wilson's first girlfriend.
Oh my God, his first girlfriend.
that starter. That meme will never go away.
No, and that's forever in my head. Seeing that, I'm like, don't.
But with this pick, I'm more to believe that they're moving off of somebody soon.
I feel like
they got a lot of forwards.
Yeah, but in that case, I feel like but RJ is a weird situation because even when he was with the Knicks, you didn't know if he was really a guard or a 3. So right. I'm assuming he was playing the 3 because I think Scotty Barnes was playing the 4 a lot last year. 6'6", yeah, he's a 3. So is RJ moving to the 2 or is I don't know. It's Toronto's just an interesting team in general because I feel like they don't. There's no plan there either. I think Nigeria is kind of like see what happens. Look at their roster real quick because I'm pretty sure they just got an abundance of guys who are just there.
Oh, we got a proposed trade.
Oh, here we go. What we got?
I see. Look like Houston's pick's going to Phoenix. Oh, this is from. Never mind. This is from Kevin Durant.
This is from the Durant trade.
Yeah.
So who's Phoenix picking here? Who's Phoenix going to get here?
I mean, they need a lot of help.
Lord knows they're stuck. Well, here's the question with Phoenix, though. Do you go and say, okay, we traded KD. Let's just get rid of Beal and Booker and just say, let's just start all over again.
I think that's a smart thing to do, but I think Booker is going to ride it out. I think he's going to be the next Garnett. He's going to be he's like Garnett. He's going to ride it out. He's not going to want to leave. Beal, all that money, ain't no one want to take that contract. So I think they're kind of stuck in the situation.
53.6 this coming season and 57.1 player option for 26-27. Booker's 53.1, 57, and then 61 in his last year of his contract.
Ooh. Good luck trying to move those guys.
I mean, listen, the only way you move these guys is if you eat a lot of that contract. Now, I'm pretty sure Ishbia might. I think Ishbia's in that Uncle Steve from the Nets mindset of like, we'll eat some of this just to get them off the roster. Right. I won't eat all of it, but we'll pay 75% of the salary. I think Ishbia might be on that kick just to be like, all right, let's build this correctly because he came in like Steinbrenner did in like the 70s and just screwed everything up for the Yankees. Yeah. It's the same shit until he kind of let other people do what they need to do. Or in the 80s. Yeah, 80. I think more 80s. The 80s is when Billy Martin left, Reggie Jackson left, and the 80s was like a disaster until he got suspended. Sorry, I watched that that Yankee
I
documentary
saw
on
it too.
Peacock. I'm like, they
Pretty
really
good.
like Mel Hall, huh? Mel Hall is in jail for that shit, huh? Mel Hall is bring his girlfriend into the dugout, into the clubhouse. I'm like, she was 15. No one said anything. Mel Hall.
No social media. No social
Said,
media.
she shouldn't be here, Mel.
No social media at the time.
All right, best available. I don't know. This ball player is like, it's cool. Esnug from France, that's his name. Asa Newell from Georgia. Thomas Sorber from Georgetown. Carter Bryant. That's Jay Billis' top 5 best available. Thomas Sorber is interesting because he played at Georgetown. He's that old school center. So you think about Georgetown, you think centers, that's who he is. So I didn't see him step out and hit 20-foot jumpers or hit threes. He'd stay low and just bang down low. So I'm not sure how that translates into the NBA. So I'm scared. He's like Mitchell Robinson, just a little more athletic than Mitchell Robinson.
Okay.
So, Bruce, Colin Murray. Bruce is loving this because Bruce is watching these guys like, nope. But Walter Clayton Jr. gets drafted, Bruce is all in. Walter Clayton goes, Bruce is jumping for joy probably. So here's my question, because I'm actually watching the feed on ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think ESPN just gives Stephen A, ABC, just go away? Because we don't want that here after the finals. Like,
I don't know.
Just stay away.
I don't know. I definitely think they want him to go on vacation right now. But I don't know.
And from me too. I've never seen so much hate for a program. Inside the NBA can't come soon enough to ESPN. People are like, can they start tonight? Right now. Bring them home. According to Bruce, the Hornets just made a trade. I'm looking for it now. Let's go through. Come on, Shams. You got one job to do. Trading center Mark Williams of Suns for the number 29 pick and a 2029 first-round pick. So Mark Williams, who the Lakers did not want, he goes to Phoenix.
Well, they go Zion a center coming getting drafted right now. So
yep, Thomas Sorber ain't going nowhere. Probably, I think Asa Newell will probably go to Phoenix. I think that'd be a good forward to go because they have no forwards on this team. They trade Durant, and the only forwards you really have now are Royce O'Neal.
Okay.
Yeah,
first round pick next year.
Yeah. Well, they get 29 this year. 29 could be something. I don't know. I don't know what 29 could be. All right, pick is in for Houston, i.e. Phoenix. Let's see who Phoenix picks up. I say Newell. It'll probably be someone very random.
No, they went with the center from Duke.
Oh, okay. Oh, so they got 2 centers. They got 2 centers in 5 minutes.
Nice. Nice little twin towers they got going on now.
But no forwards. They have no forwards right now.
Huh?
I'm assuming they know what they're doing. I don't want to be that guy to second guess everything everyone does, but you just traded for Mark Williams, the center. You already have a couple centers on your roster, and now you draft one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is turning into Detroit all over again. All right, Portland's next up. I think after Portland, we should call it a night. Because I'm curious about after the Drew Holiday trade, because I don't know what direction they're headed in, and I really want to see who they get.
Knowing Portland, they're going to get a guard, and they're only going to really piss Drew some more.
I know.
The buyout market is going to be – the buyout market this season is going to be much better than last. I guarantee that.
We're not sold on Scoot, so we just got another guard. And like him and Scoot can battle it out and see who stays around. Yep. All right, so first team all ACC turn. Listen, go get the bag. Get it, but this year without Cooper Flag and Knuppel, this could have been a year where he elevated his game. 8 points a game is not nothing to scream home about. You're really getting drafted because you went to Duke and you're big. You're a big center with the Duke. That's why you're getting drafted. You're not getting drafted because your game's polished. You're getting drafted because of where you went to school and because you're like 7 feet tall. He is balling like a baby, though. Jesus.
Haven't seen that all night.
Cry like this at the draft. I haven't seen anyone cry like that in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone just ball out like that. His story is very cool too. He is not a scorer at all. So I'm assuming Mark Williams, he scores a little points. He's gonna be a scorer, and he
looks like he just started playing basketball. So that we'll see how that happens still.
Yeah, started at age 13. Was he 19 now?
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, you're looking at a project. This is a project pick.
Oh shit! No, they got Bol on the team.
He's a free agent.
Oh, okay.
Not anymore. Listen, him, Bol, and Mark Williams playing at the same time. I can see it. And then you have Beal and Booker playing the guards. That's something I would draft. That's a 2K card game right there. I would do that in a heartbeat.
That's definitely Cancun and April. That's definitely a Cancun and April team.
Cancun and April.
Well, we'll see you in Cancun, guys.
Bruce is hating his draft so much. Bruce is hating his trade so much. This is draft so much. He's so angry. I hope you're home and you're still not in Haiti watching drafts. I feel like if you're still on vacation in Haiti visiting, you're wasting your time right now. So I really hope you're home back in U.S. It's alphabet you in a foreign country watching this bullshit. So Portland, I'm going to go on a limb. I think they might go with. I think this is where you get Derek Queen. I think this is probably where you would take Derek Queen, even with all the talk about his workouts and his numbers, his measurables. I think this is where you probably go with a center because Portland doesn't really have a center.
Yeah, good point. And Chauncey would definitely help with the conditioning.
I can see Queen or Sorber from Georgetown, and the dark horse would be Josionis from Illinois. So yeah, Bruce is away watching this. I'm sorry, Bruce, but my apologies. All right, Portland's got 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. They've completely went off of the board, completely every team since Ace. So we'll see what happens here. After this draft, we're gonna call it a night. We'll come back next Thursday. Free agency starts Tuesday.
Does it? Oh yeah, it usually starts like around right before the 4th of
July 1st, right?
Yeah.
If that's the case, we'll be back on Tuesday. We got to turn right around.
See who gets
starts on Monday.
Oh.
Yeah,
starting early.
Yeah, so we'll probably do a show we'll talk probably like Tuesday or Wednesday, or Tuesday or Thursday. Monday I have something to do. Yeah, we'll do that. Usually like July 1st.
Right
at that point.
Oh, that means Summer League is early then. That means Summer League might be like the following week then.
Mm-hmm. Which I still want to go. One year we might have to just convince our wives to let us go.
Yeah.
You go for a week. July 10th to the 20th.
Thomas and Mac.
Yeah, I think that might be the plan. We got to talk to our wives and listen, we really need to go to Summer League because we're writers. We're sports writers. We got to experience this once.
Yes, at least once. 100%.
At least once. Maybe not for all 10 days. Give us 4.
Oh man, that Wemby. Oh man. Oh wait, good point. They show in the graph of the last time 3 Duke players were drafted in the top 10. Cam Reddish, Zion, and RJ. A solid pro in RJ.
Your disgust in that list. It's like, oh God, Cam Reddish. Who cares about Cam Reddish? Portland down to 10 seconds. I'm assuming they know who they got. This ain't gonna be a Minnesota Viking 2010 situation all over again when they lose their pick. It really just feels this is not. I thought it'd be more exciting than this. I feel like everyone's kind of
It's so diplomatic. It's such a diplomatic draft. And you watch The second we go off there, trades.
Oh yeah, you know it. You already know. Always happens that way. Drew Holiday gets traded as soon as we get off. All right, so Portland is trading this pick to Memphis.
For who?
Not yet. There's no word on it yet.
Which would make sense why it took so long for them to make a decision.
Cedric Coward, a wing from Washington State. I'm not going to lie. Don't know who he is because Washington State's not really in a conference right now. They're still in that Pac-12.
I don't know. It still look like he's eating good off that NIL money. That bling is playing.
Yeah, Portland's trading this pick to Memphis, but there's no word on the who or the what. And back to the Charlotte trade, the Phoenix, the 2029 first rounder is the least favorable of Cleveland, Utah, and Minnesota. That is 1 through 5 protected.
Oh shit! Okay.
So that does anyone trade unprotected picks anymore? Is that even a thing?
No.
Everyone just every pick is protected. You don't touch it from 1 to 25. No, you can't touch it.
Yep.
This pick number 26 is your pick. You can have that.
That's your pick.
You can't touch anything else. Yep. So this guy is wearing a Blazers hat for no reason whatsoever. He's going to Memphis, and Memphis continues whatever the hell they're doing in Memphis right now. According to Stephen A. Smith, crime. Crime is rampant. Just rampant.
You went there.
Ridiculous. On that note, we should end right there. So, the Nets wasted their pick. That's the big story tonight. And
we're going to find out later on that they traded that pick for Ja.
If the Nets walk out tonight with Ja Morant, I'm going to lose my. I'm probably going to call you. Forget that. I'm going to call you like, what the fuck just happened? What did we miss? What was that negotiation? That was what they're slapping hands about. They're dapping about that.
Yep. It better be.
As always, great draft night show. Thank you so much, man.
Likewise.
So we'll be back probably next Thursday. Free agency starts on Monday. I have a funeral to go to, so I will not be in the New Jersey area on Monday. But we'll be back probably Tuesday or Thursday. We'll figure it out, and I'll put a message on YouTube. Talk about free agency. Free agency is going to be rough. I'm telling you guys now because no one's moving anywhere. Everybody's
moving.
Took their options. It's going to be a bunch of restricted free agents who will probably get matched. So we may not even do Tuesday. We might wait until Thursday, depending on how Monday looks. Because if Monday is just boring, I'm not going to bother and rush and try to get a show out. So check our YouTube channel. I'll put a little message in telling you when the next box out is. Armchairing Bruce will be back next Wednesday. He'll be back here. So his show will be back after 2 weeks off. So check that out. For Jason and Kahlil. Thanks for watching our draft spectacular extravaganza thing. I don't know. Big story. Nets. Have a good night. See you guys.
Peace.
This has been The Box Out with Kahlil Thomas and Jason Kortner. Subscribe now for the best tri-state area basketball talk.